though the legal system is that way in this land, taking advantage of it extremely is not very good.
I agree. I absolutely agree. You don't want the other person in jail or in the streets if they do not deserve to be in those any of those places.
Particularly there is they call it GPS on the feet.
Yeah,
those ones cause someone to be very bitter.
What, the tracking device, you mean?
A man will never forget when such happens.
Wow. Some of them have it.
The tracking device.
Yeah, because now they cannot go to a radius of that house to a certain extent. It's just sad. It's just sad. I don't know what the community can do to approach this issue. I don't know the best way, because people need to talk.
Don't they have to be because we also want to acknowledge that domestic violence is real and it's very serious. And I think that's why the law here take it really extremely serious, because women have been murdered, whatnot. But at the same time, we also don't want people to take advantage of that and put innocent people in trouble. So when they're doing this, and again, maybe this is a little bit out of what you guys are doing, maybe they are lawyers, we can ask these questions, because for you to be put to jail or this tracking device, don't they require to have solid proof that this was done, and what is the proof for this? Because I can't just sit and dial 911 and say, oh, you beat me up, or you are, I guess you could say they are threatening. I really don't know.
And I think that's where Bishop is saying wisdom is very important. If you see it's not working, I think it's right to walk away.
Yeah.
But the problem, don't be violent. Just take your pieces and walk away. The problem is when they walk away, they don't know how to pick their broken pieces. The men should be able to say, I am not going to be violent, I'm not going to touch you, but I'm going. So when you get out of that door, keep going. Don't give up.
Florence, I want you to visualize a situation where you bought that house even before you got married. And here you are coming out of your own property. Because anytime women know when they call, the man is bundled into that vehicle like goods.
But tell me, what do you want that particular person to do? Because there's a situation here. He's been told to go. And already you are the same bishop who is saying America favors the mother and the children. It's better for him to go. My concern is, what can we do to make a situation like that for men to pick up the broken pieces together? How can we support that one who has been told, get out?
Where do you draw the line? How do you know who has been told, get out? Because they are actually abusers. They are because if you come here and you know the law, and you start beating up your wife, whether she was on the wrong or not, or your girlfriend, the mother of your kids, whoever, you're doing that knowing this is the law, without maybe you're unable to control your anger, whatever, and vice versa, even for the women. Where do you draw the line and know that Kamau or Nyango is innocent, is the wife? Because both cases happen where there's extreme, where, like Bishop is saying, there are women who are taking advantage of the law, and he's saying, imagine you put all this stuff together probably before you even got married, work so hard, jobs, whatnot, and then all of a sudden you're told, move out. I can also imagine how hard that can be. I'm glad you guys are sharing this, because most of the time when we see homeless people, as a society, the first thing that comes to your mind is, it's drug and alcohol. I don't think we ever think about these other situations that could render somebody homeless and end up in the street. It could be me, could be you, could be anybody. But we have to change the way we look at these people. And when we talk about that, to me, it reminds me of back home where we had these street kids. We would call them chokoras and all that. And I know, like, when we were younger, you didn't care much about them, and you just thought these are just kids that wanted to be in the street. But the older you get and listen to these kids' stories, you realize, some of them went in the street because the parents died and nobody in the family wanted to take them in, and they ended up in the street, or different circumstances. Nobody just wake up and say, I'm gonna become a street boy or a street girl and just go live in the street. So it's kind of the same situation, whereby you just look at a homeless person and you keep moving, thinking that they wanted their life. Yes, I do understand what you're saying. There are some people who end up there because of abusing alcohol and drug, which is also a disease.
Yeah,
it's also a disease. They still need to be taken care of.
the other one is the bad host. I remember we had a case here at home where a young man came from Africa, and the host gave him only 1 week and threw him out in the street. It was winter. So we found that young man dragging his suitcase in the street. This kid has no drug abuse, has no alcohol abuse. He's just out there just because somebody decided, I can't accommodate you anymore. You need to go and look for a place to go. So me and Bishop picked him up. When you agree with somebody all the way from Africa that you're going to be the host, please remember, this person has no one else they know. They don't know anything else besides you. So when you throw them out in the street, what have you told that person? Go and die in the street. Today, as we talk, that young man is very successful. He got his papers. He got a job. He actually bought a car when he was still living with us.
Wow.
So let's be careful when we offer them a bed when they are back in Africa. If you know you will not be able, leave that story alone. Don't get involved.
So are you guys getting funding from the government, or how are you able to support these people? Taking them to rehab? I'm sure that's expensive on its own. How are you guys able to do this?
Bishop, can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
How are you?
Oh, fine, thank you. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. How are you, Bishop?
Very good.
Bishop, you're in Massachusetts also?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get started. I was introduced to Florence by Dan Karanja, and I had talked to him. He had told me a little bit about the program that you guys are running out there in the Boston area, or I'm not sure exactly what town. So that's why I have you guys here today, so we can talk about this program, what you guys are doing, so that other Kenyans in the community can be aware that you guys have this program, and educate us a little bit about what's going on within our community. So I'm going to start with you, Florence. Just introduce yourself, take a couple of minutes, tell us who you are, where you come from, and then Bishop, and he can take a couple of minutes also.
All right. Thank you so much, Liz, for giving us this opportunity to create awareness of what's going on around our community. That is a very touching issue. And it doesn't affect one person. When one person is affected, the entire community is affected. So my name's Florence Mwangi, born in Thika, Kenya, of course. Went to school in Thika, primary school. I also went to high school in Thika and Nyeri, then relocated to Nairobi for college. Then I joined one of the biggest companies for motor dealer in Kenya, which was Marshall's. I worked for Marshall's for 18 years before I relocated to America. That was in 2008.
Oh, you relocated in 2008?
Yeah, that's when I came to America.
All right. Introduce your guest.
So Bishop Muthee is my co-founder of the Homeless Reform Project. We'll explain a little bit about that when he gets a chance. And we started this project with him, with another gentleman called John Nyoro, who later relocated to another state. So he kind of gave us a way to continue because he could not do it when he was too far. But Bishop Muthee is the secretary to this organization and a co-founder.
All right. Bishop Muthee, introduce yourself, take a couple of minutes, tell us a little bit about your background in Kenya, where you're from, and when did you migrate from Kenya to America?
Well, I'm a born-again Christian bishop, and I have established many churches in Kenya. I began counseling in Kenya, and I've also worked with organizations like Central Bank of Kenya, the Abercrombie and Kent Tours company. I was a manager there. And in 2016, I had come to America another 3 times before, but in 2016, I came and have not gone back to Kenya. Yes.
Awesome. So, Florence, talk to us about, let's just jump into the organization. What led to you guys starting this organization? and the whole logistics of running this organization, because we know how busy this can get over here. You have a full-time job, you have a family to take care of, but at the same time, you guys decided to be helpful to the community, not just the Kenyan community, but the communities where you guys live.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Liz. It's a very touchy topic. And I can tell you, we started it due to the situation we saw people living in, and especially in the town of Lowo, where one winter, it was about 4 degrees outside. Me and Bishop were passing by, and we were looking at those people at the park, and we were like, this is so sad. It's 4 degrees outside, and these guys are still here. So me and him approached them, and we decided to talk to them. So each and every individual had a different story why they are homeless, why they are there, and we thought about it. So when we came back to my house, because that's where we were coming, we had a small meeting, and we said, isn't there anything anybody can do to help these people? Majority of the people outside there were immigrants. Not only them, there were also people from this country who are there. It is 4 degrees outside there. I'm outside there, and I cannot even stay out there for most I can stay maybe 30 minutes, and I want to go back home. So that's when we decided this can change. Something can be done. We can save, even if it's one soul. So we decided to start the organization, and immediately we started going. We registered the organization in 2019. We got our 501c. We are tax exempted, and we started going into the park now, aggressively talking to them, recruiting them, encouraging them, Bishop preaching to them, praying for them. Then finally we got used to them. They got used to us, and they became our friends. That was in 2019 in February. Since then, we've been going there on daily basis, every Monday, and when need arises, because most of them have a desire to change. Most of them want to go to the rehabs. So when we get there and everybody expresses desire to go to the rehab, we don't leave them there. We work on it that minute. We get a bed, and we connect with other people who now we have gotten to know them in the rehabs. And we have some of the best rehabs in this state. So we get a bed, and we put that particular person in an Uber, and we send them to the rehab. When they go there, they stay about 3 months or 21 days or whatever the different situations of different individuals. When they come back, we receive them back. We take them to the sober homes. These sober homes are paid for them to be remember, they are jobless, they've been homeless, they have no money. So when we take them to the sober homes, we have to pay for them for about 2 months. Then we encourage them to look for jobs. They get jobs, then they start paying for the rent there. But we always insist, we are not in a hurry to leave, because relapse is like a minute. That is how we get to help them as at now. Unless there's something else Bishop would like to add, what I've left out as for how we do it. Do you have anything else you want to add, Bishop?
Yes, as to the entity, Homeless Reform Project is not only a non-profit organization with 501c. It is also characterized as in the category of it's a charity. It's also a charity. When we began this exercise, it was not easy. There are success cases out there. And it costed us a lot, even surrendering our own houses for them to come and live with us, so that we can supervise them until they are healed. 2 of them spent about 2 years
in your own homes,
here in this living room. About 2 years, a Ugandan and a Kenyan. And even when they were here sleeping at night, they were being fed by Florence. And we have done a lot with these people. Yet our greatest challenge is when they come from rehabs. Because we go there, preach to them, or talk to them in any way, trying to beseech them to change their lifestyle. Trying to show them there's hope ahead. and they can be normal people. And indeed, those that make a decision to reform, we don't leave them there. We carry them. If we have money, because you must remove them from that environment.
Yeah.
If we have money, we get them to hotels, pending our ability to get a position in sober houses. Because sometimes it is not, we don't receive it on demand.
Why? Because they are full? Is it because they'll be full and they can't take any more person?
Yeah, sometimes they are full. And this is a challenge that we get, particularly when these people are coming out of rehab and we cannot get a place to take them immediately.
Yeah.
They go back to the only place they know, which is the drug. And before we know it, they are worse than they were when we were taking them to rehab.
Wow.
That discourages us until we sat down and we saw we must get our own facility where we can get these people at any time they are leaving the recovery centers.
Yeah.
And observe them on hands-on management with programs, sailing them through programs that will prepare them for exit into independent living. Looking for jobs for them where we see they are becoming responsible. And this way they will regain management of their lives. They help in building the economy of the land.
Do you guys fight? What do you guys fight to be the biggest cause of homelessness, especially in our Kenyan community? Because, you know, you still have a lot of Kenyans that are also homeless over there. So given that our channel is going to be watched by most Kenyans in diaspora and maybe even back at home, without mentioning names, of course, what do you guys fight to be the cause of this? You know, is it drugs, alcohol, or just bad luck where you can lose a job and find yourself out in the streets, not because you are doing anything wrong?
According to me, it will take, sometimes it can take only missing one paycheck.
Yeah.
And you find yourself in the streets. Alcohol and substance abuse is in the lead.
Okay.
Because of the way it warps the brain, it warps the mind, the thought processes become distorted. And because of the chemical imbalance of the brain, I don't know, these people suffer from denial, most of them.
Okay.
So they can, before you know he's suffering, he can be so much destroyed inside there, because most of these destructions need an inner healing, not just taking care of symptoms.
Yeah.
Domestic violence also contributes to this very much.
Okay.
Very much. Broken relationships and marriages contribute to this very much.
The other one is the bad host. What I'm calling a bad host is when I remember we had a case here at home where a young man came from Africa, not mentioning which country, and the host gave him only 1 week and threw him out in the street. It was winter. So we found that young man dragging his suitcase in the street. This kid has no drug abuse, has no alcohol abuse. He's just out there just because somebody decided, I can't accommodate you anymore. You need to go and look for a place to go. So me and Bishop picked him up. So we came with him here. He explained to us, I did not do anything. I don't have any money. I don't have any papers. But when I was coming from Africa, he agreed to host me. Now he doesn't want, he says it's too expensive to live with me. Go and look for a place to live. So also that idea of somebody, when you agree with somebody all the way from Africa that you're going to be the host, please remember, this person has no one else they know. They don't know anything else besides you. So when you throw them out in the street, what have you told that person? Go and die in the street. Today, as we talk, that young man is very successful. He got his papers. He got a job. He actually bought a car when he was still living with us.
Wow.
So let's be careful when we offer them a bed when they are back in Africa. If you know you will not be able, leave that story alone. Don't get involved. Other than making somebody come and suffer here. So that's another case of homelessness, bad host.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So,
common.
Incarcerations also render people homeless. Because one is incarcerated, even if they had a mortgage, when they come out, they are distorted
it's
so
gone.
much
Yeah.
that they don't know where to start. And the only people that can receive them are the people in the park.
So is this a park like where everybody goes to, or is this a park where it has a section of homeless people? When you guys say at the park, because I've heard you talk about
It's
the park.
not one park. They are nearly in every park.
Oh, wow.
But the particular
at the streets.
Sorry. The particular one that we focus on is near a small kitchen. They call the soup kitchen.
Oh, okay.
So when they go there, at least they go inside the soup kitchen, they get some soup and bread, and then they come out for the whole day, they stay there. So they have now made it their common place to meet.
What I'm hearing you guys saying is the number one lead for that is alcohol and drug abuse. But there is also what Bishop said, you could just be one paycheck away from being homeless. And sometimes that's just something that you can stop. And then bad host, that's something that the rest of us can make sure that is taken care of. Don't promise somebody you're gonna host them and they come here a week later, 2 weeks later, even a month later. You can't just kick them out. At least be prepared to stay with this person, maybe even 6 months or a year, whatever if it takes 6 months, whatever it is, because kicking somebody to go out there who just arrived here, they could just die there in the street. Sometimes they're not even prepared for the elements, the weather out there, especially during winter or during very hot summer days. So for us as a community, I think that is something that if you want to be a host, either you don't host or you be prepared to stay with the person you bring in until they are able to get back on their feet. But on the issue of, so actually let me go back. The people who end up in the street, either it's domestic violence, either money issue, paycheck, lost a job, ended up in the street. Do they end up getting into drugs and alcohol abuse once they join these other people in the park, or they just stay there?
So this is what happens. When once they're outside the streets, who are they hanging out with the whole day? It is the homeless people who are doing drugs and alcohol. They have become your family. They have become your close friends. They will introduce you, not knowing how much it will go at that moment. But on daily basis, you end up becoming an alcoholic. The next thing we introduce to you is what? Drugs and needles. So slowly by slowly, you become a mess like them with no intentions of doing it.
Yeah.
So that's how it happens. Once somebody is homeless, even that young man I'm talking about being a bad host, it's just that we rescued him on time. Just on time. If he was going to stay another 1 month or two, I mean, no matter how much willpower he had to fight it. Remember, he's sleeping with them outside, he's hanging with them around. He was going to just go into it so easily.
Wow.
Don't forget even
go ahead, Bishop.
Even health issues like depression, bipolar, anxiety, and the like. Anything that touches the mind, they will render people homeless.
Wow.
Because we have a lot that when you look at them and when you're talking to them, they are depressive attitudes. Some even having suicidal thoughts. And they need attention every tinkling of the clock.
Wow. I'm glad you guys are sharing this, because most of the time when we see homeless people, as a society, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, is drug and alcohol. I don't think we ever think about these other situations that could render somebody homeless and end up in the street. It could be me, could be you, could be anybody. But we have to change the way we look at these people. And when we talk about that, to me, it reminds me of back home where we had these street kids. We would call them chokoras and all that. And I know, like when we were younger, you know, you didn't care much about them and you just thought these are just kids that wanted to be in the street. But the older you get and listen to these kids' stories, you realize, you know, some of them went in the street because the parents died and nobody in the family wanted to take them in, and they ended up in the street, or different circumstances. Nobody just wake up and say, I'm gonna become a street boy or a street girl and just go live in the street. So it's kind of the same situation whereby you just look at a homeless person and you keep moving, thinking that they wanted their life. Yes, I do understand what you're saying. There are some people who end up there because of abusing alcohol and drug, which is also a disease, you know.
Yeah,
it's also a disease. They still need to be taken care of. So my question to you guys is, how are you guys getting funding from the government, or how are you able to support these people, taking them to rehab? I'm sure that's expensive on its own. How are you guys able to do this?
Bishop, can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Oh, thank you, Liz. So right now, we've been trying so hard to do funding here and there. We have applied a few. Of course, we were not successful, but we want to thank the community because they have been very supportive. They have been contributing their own personal money. We have been held like twice. We did 2 fundraisers. So that's how we've been running the organization. But because we have a bigger goal, and a more focused goal on how the end product will be, like we cannot be taking them to the rehab and taking them to other people to manage them for us or to take care of them. So we are looking at it on a bigger way, that we want to open a transition home.
Okay.
Yeah, the transition home is what we are working on right now, on looking for funding.
Okay.
And that area is for Bishop. He's working on that. But we cannot forget to thank the community, because anytime we call them in, when I say the community, it is the people around Lower and Boston area, all of it. Anytime we call them, we have a small fundraiser, they really support us.
Are these Kenyans, or this is just the community in general? Everybody, Americans, Kenyans, Americans, and Asians, Spanish people, and all that?
I can say it is everybody, because when I have that kind of a fundraiser, I don't choose who I'm asking. I even go to my boss. I go to everybody. So generally, it's everybody I meet. I have this fundraiser for the homeless. Even if it is $20 or $10, please contribute. So they really support us. Generally, it's everybody. Or Bishop, you have something to add on to that?
No, you have answered it very well. It's actually everybody. We deal with everybody.
Okay. So, and now the goal is to open, what are you guys calling it? Like after they leave rehab?
Transition facility.
Transition facility is where they continue to live after they are clean, and now, I guess, prepare them to get back into the job world?
Yes, and then teach them how to maintain sobriety.
Okay.
Teach them how to keep away from alcohol, what you do when that thing talks to you, because it's like a cloud on top of their head that talks to them. Go get it, go get it. We need to teach them how to evade from that. We need to have counselors, people talking to them. We need to show them even medication can help, because there's medication that can help them for craving. That is where now you teach them. Slowly
and
by
even
slowly.
preaching to them.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I'm sure Bishop wouldn't forget that.
Okay. So I don't know. That is good. That is good. That's a good part of the whole, the ingredients required to get these people back on their feet. I probably know what the answer to this is, but I don't want to assume. What is the ratio of men to women out there in the street? Or it doesn't even have to be 1-to-1, but is it more men, more women, or?
It's 1 to 5.
There we go back to the boy child.
Okay.
The boy child is not doing good.
Okay.
majority of them are men, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. When we started, we had quite a number of women there, and women do listen. Women do respond to your advice. They will take it serious, because all the women we found them there, and Bishop, you agree with me, none of them is there today.
Oh,
right?
wow. That's good. That's very good.
All the women we found there were about 5 of them. None of them is there today. Some of them went to the rehab, they recovered, they relocated to another state. One of them decided, this is not working for me. I'm going to move to another state. Actually, 2 of them relocated to another state. The others are still within here, but some of them are doing good. Some of them have relapsed, they are fighting it, but they are not at the park anymore. That's what I can see. So majority of the ones who are still at the park are men. There are some women, but they have places to live. They come there just to hang out the whole day and drink and then disappear. But the ones who are permanently there, they are no longer there anymore.
Okay.
The advantage that women have over men, particularly in homelessness, is that they are open. A woman will spill whatever is in their hearts out. But men, I don't know why they are shy, or they don't want to speak. You've got to build a lot of rapport to receive from him.
That's what they say. It's like pulling teeth, yeah? Before you get the information.
Yeah.
Bishop, there's something you mentioned, and I don't want this to pass by without me asking. You mentioned that domestic violence is one of the reasons sometimes you see people out there. Is it that the community is not well educated to know what is available? Because I would like to think that even in the state of Massachusetts, there are domestic violence shelters, because there's a difference between a homeless shelter, domestic violence shelter. Is it that a woman or even a man, if it's a man who is in a toxic relationship, end up in the street because they were not aware that those services are available when there is serious issues of domestic violence?
Like services like shelters?
Yeah, like instead of being out in the street, I do know that they have shelters where if somebody is in domestic violence, they can go to actually domestic violence shelters, which are completely different than homeless shelters.
I think what Bishop wanted to say is, I'm sorry, Bishop, to cut you. I think what Bishop wanted to say is poor relationships that are not working, marriages that are not working. So this is what happened. According to some of them who are there, who have opened up, they could no longer stay in that house, because anytime there is a small quarrel or a disagreement, 911 is called on them. So other than me going to jail and losing my... He opts to go. When he goes there, stress catches him, depression and everything. Then he starts drinking. Other than fighting it and putting his feet together and going through, like the lady he has left behind will move on, right? The men, I don't know how they can handle it.
What you're saying is, for example, the men, there's some disagreement in the household, argument, whatever. The wife calls the police and the man chooses, you know what, instead of dealing with all these little fights, police being called, I end up in jail, I'm on a walkout.
Yes.
Okay. So I had thought about it the other way.
If I had to speak it out, the law, you know, the statutory requirement in this land is in favor of women and children.
Yeah.
And most women sometimes take advantage of this.
Okay.
And I find a lot of bitterness with these men there, knowing how they were treated.
Wow.
Maybe a man had bought his own house.
Yeah.
And he's chased out of his own house, the only asset he had. That is a lot of bitterness.
Yeah.
There are some who literally cry when telling you these things. You feel this man can't do anything.
Wow.
And I would advise everybody, wisdom is good, and consideration for others is good. Because a lover treating the other person that way, it becomes even more hurting than if it was somebody else whom they did not know.
Yeah.
somebody who you expect care from.
Mm-hmm.
Though the legal system is that way in this land, taking advantage of it extremely is not very good.
I agree. I absolutely agree. You don't want the other person in jail or in the streets if they do not deserve to be in any of those places.
Particularly there is, they call it GPS on the feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those ones cause someone to be very bitter.
What, the tracking device, you mean?
A man will never forget when such happens.
Wow.
Wow.
Some of them have it.
The tracking device.
Yeah, because now they cannot go to a radius of that house to a certain extent. It's just sad. It's just sad. I don't know what the community can do to approach this issue. I don't know the best way, because people need to talk.
Don't they have to be pro? Because we also want to acknowledge that domestic violence is real and it's very serious. And I think that's why the law here take it really extremely serious, because women have been murdered, whatnot. But at the same time, we also don't want people to take advantage of that and put innocent people in trouble. So when they're doing this, and again, maybe this is a little bit out of what you guys are doing, maybe they are lawyers, we can ask these questions, because for you to be put to jail or this tracking device, don't they require to have solid proof that this was done, and what is the proof for this? Because I can't just sit and dial 911 and say, oh, you beat me up, or you are, I guess you could say they are threatening you. I really don't know.
And I think that's where Bishop is saying wisdom is very important. If you see it's not working, I think it's right to walk away.
Yes.
But the problem, don't be violent. Just take your pieces and walk away. The problem is when they walk away, they don't know how to pick their broken pieces. And say, I can still get a room somewhere. I can still get a job somewhere. I can still call a friend. I don't have a place to sleep. Can you give me a night or two while I bring my things together? No. Some of them don't know how to work that out. That's why we are saying the men should be able to say, I am not going to be violent. I'm not going to touch you, but I'm going. So when you get out of that door, keep going. Don't give up.
Florence, I want you to visualize a situation where you bought that house even maybe before you got married. And here you are coming out of your own property. Because anytime women know when they call the 999, there is no reasoning. The man is bundled into that vehicle like goods.
Bishop, we are not picking a debate, but tell me, what do you want that particular person to do? Because there's a situation here. He's been told to go. And already you are the same bishop who is saying America favors the mother and the children. But it's better for him to go. My concern is, what can we do to make a situation like that for men to pick up the broken pieces together? How can we support that one who has been told, get out? Is there a service that
but then where do you draw the line? How do you know who has been told get out? Because they are actually abusers. They are because if you come here and you know the law, and you start beating up your wife, whether she was on the wrong or not, or your girlfriend, the mother of your kids, whoever, you're doing that knowing this is the law, without maybe you're unable to control your anger, whatever, and vice versa, even for the women. So where do you draw the line and know that Kamau or Nyango is innocent, is the wife? Because both cases happen where there's extreme, where, like Bishop is saying, there are women who are taking advantage of the law, and he's saying, imagine you put all this stuff together, probably before you even got married, work so hard, jobs, whatnot, and then all of a sudden you are told, move out. I can also imagine how hard that can be, but I don't know what type of support system there is. I don't know how you know, but human beings are human beings. But I think from what Bishop is saying is, because I'm thinking like right now, if somebody just tell me, walk out of this house, like just move. Okay, if I have some money in the bank, I can go stay in a hotel but how long is that going to last me? So that becomes a dilemma. How long, even for those who are saying, this is toxic, I don't want to stay here, because if I stay here and the police comes, now you go in the system, it becomes another whole story. But then they ran out of money. And also even your job, you can't probably sustain a job when you're homeless, or even when you're moving from one home to the other. I just don't know. I don't know what, prayers and other support system are definitely required.
I have this young man I work with, and he keeps on telling me, Florence, is there a way you people can form a small hotline, especially for us, whereby if I'm in that situation, I can call and tell somebody, I've just walked out because I didn't want to be in trouble. I didn't want a 911 to be called. And then maybe there's a support group that can tell me, okay, we're going to support you this week while you pick your broken pieces. Because that person doesn't want to become homeless. I tell him I'll still find out. I'll figure out how we can do that.
But
so
then I go back to the question, where do you draw the line? If I'm the perpetrator here, and I know I'm gonna be in trouble, then I'm calling you, hey, I need you to put me in a place. I need this and the other. What can I do? Because I know if I do XYZ, I can run over to Florence. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, you want to be there for the innocent ones that genuinely are put in this situation, not because of anything wrong that they did.
Yeah.
Because somebody else is taking advantage of the system. Because there has to be, I don't know what the community can do. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, they have hotlines here in America, all these national hotlines, whether it's for counseling, domestic violence, whatnot, but at the same time, some people just fall in the cracks.
Even those ones that have perpetrated such actions, and they get in trouble, they find themselves homeless. You cannot look at them just like that to perish.
You still
They also need to be corrected. They need to be befriended. They need to be counseled.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we also have erred here and there, although there were no consequences.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Regardless of what somebody has done, they need to be loved and they need to be counseled, and they also need to be fed. You can't just let somebody die because, hey, you did something wrong, so we're gonna let you.
Because life will continue. Now, the worst thing is when this happens, the records of these people are getting spoiled.
Yeah.
The authorities have those records. This person reaches somewhere, he cannot get a job because of such records.
Because a potential employer can run their background check and see.
Yeah,
that's tough.
How can we teach them? Because they are our children, they're coming up, they're gonna get mature, they're gonna get married. What do we tell them as parents? If you see ukiona ni kubaya, walk away. Where I don't know, we need to figure out. Maybe the pastors can teach us something that we can tell them. I don't know, because it's sad.
I think it probably start with anger management, because people do things because you are so angry, you are unable to control your anger, and it could be a genuine anger. Somebody did something that just got you off the roof, but how you choose to act when you're angry can make all the difference. But also a campaign of educating people that just because me and you had a disagreement, we had an argument, should not mean I pick up the phone and I call the police. But at the same time, you have to educate people that if somebody keeps threatening you, one of these days I'm gonna kill you, you need to call the law. They will kill you.
Now, let me
balance it.
Let me tell you something. Just recently, I will not mention names.
Yes.
One who looked like he is not known by anybody in the whole state or in the whole country died. We have buried several, and it is very painful. Now, when he died, a wife shows up. Relatives all over, even up to Texas, show up.
Wow.
And they show up with a lot of authority.
And where are these people when the people are suffering, when they are going through whatever they are going through? Where are the relatives?
They show up with the pictures of these men in suits when he was working for them. It is painful.
Wow.
It is painful.
So you find that when somebody has died, that's when you find out that they had family members?
Yes.
But when you guys are taking care of them out there in the street, nobody shows
Yes.
up. This is my cousin, this is my uncle. That's, I don't know. That's just what I mean. Kudos to you guys for what you're doing.
We cannot be judgmental.
Yeah.
These people, they are my friends. I love them and they know that, but they are hard to deal with. They're very difficult to deal with. So maybe sometimes I console myself and say the family has tried.
Yeah.
So when sometimes they keep apart, we shouldn't blame them.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's not easy.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. There are cases where family.
But Florence, what I'm saying, Florence, what I'm saying, if they keep them apart and they cannot identify with them when they are suffering that way, and then he passes away, leave him alone.
That is true. I agree.
Very shameful.
I agree.
Very shameful to see.
Yeah.
Somebody coming and with all authority and everything and owning that person. When I know what that person has gone through, I did not know there was anywhere where I could ask for help. It is painful.
So what Bishop is saying is, if you're not okay, you may even have tried, because there's only too much you can do for somebody. You know, family intervention can fail and everybody washes their hands and they're like, I'm done with this. Tried every way I know how to. This person cannot be helped. So what Bishop is saying, God forbid this person passes away and they were out there in the streets, you washed your hands. Because even then, even if you say we've tried to advise this person and nothing is working, I think you should still be able to support those who are feeding them, because you still can feed the person. You may not be able to get them off drugs, off alcohol, off the street, but you are saying you can still support them in some other little ways here and there.
I know a wife, and even Florence knows, but although I cannot mention the name.
Yeah.
A wife that was pure violence. But even when the man is in the park there, this wife is always reaching into us to know how he is.
Okay.
When he needs a driving license and he's asking for money, she pays secretly. She does not want to be known. To know.
Yeah.
She pays nearly everything he needs.
Oh, that's nice.
And this woman was almost being stabbed with knives by this man.
Wow.
But she still cares for him. People are different. Others show a lot of animosity. Yeah. But they don't care whether he's dead.
This particular lady Bishop is talking about, she used always to conclude at the end of the day when we have done everything, you know what, Florence, he's still the father of my children. That used to touch me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that now was making him even the father more closer to the children. At one time, she had hope things will change. And believe it or not, Bishop, it changed, right? As we talk, they are somewhere together.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't know?
That is good.
That's good. That is good.
No, I think every situation or every case is different. So like we say, every case should be handled individually on a different level.
Okay.
Yeah, we cannot compare.
When do you guys do this? Because I don't know if you're doing this full time. I'm assuming you have your own jobs. When do you get the time to do all this stuff? Whether it's feeding them, whether it's getting them to rehab, getting them out of rehab, placing them in another home, checking, following up with them to make sure they are still doing all. We have 24 hours, and where do you guys find these extra hours in a day?
So first, we have a feeding program that we do every Monday.
Okay.
We are there every Monday at 11.
Okay.
We get lunch. We used to cook before and pack them in big trays and serve them. But nowadays, since COVID came in, we don't do that anymore. We buy packed lunch. We pack individual packages, and then we go there. We are usually there between 11:30 and 12:30. We feed them, we talk to them, we share the lunch. This lunch is usually sponsored by different people. Somebody can call me, like now I know I have a few calls. People tell me, friends, put me for next Monday. I'm the one who's going to buy the lunch. another group, another church, another group for women, churches, and such kind of a thing. So that is our Monday activity. During the week, we do the outreach now to different places, making phone calls in the morning. My schedule is 311. I work as a nurse. I do 311. So in the morning, I'm on the dining table and Bishop is in the office. And other board members are working with us, coordinating with telephones. So that is when we call the rehabs. That is when we send them. And they know, everybody knows, once it is 2 o'clock, I cannot pick up any phone call because I have to get ready to go to work. On Saturdays and Sundays, we usually don't do it. But if somebody wants to go and see them at the park or feed them, they will let me know way ahead. But
so what do they eat? If the feeding program is only on Monday, what are they doing Tuesday to Sunday?
Oh, let me tell you, these people have no problem with food. It is that place, there are so many people bringing different types of food. Every day there is somebody bringing food. Every day there is and I told you there's a soup kitchen there.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
When I say the soup kitchen, literally they call it the soup kitchen. Literally it's not really soup. Sometimes they give them food, real food. But mostly it's soup and bread. They have a big urn for coffee. They'll get coffee there. They will stay warm inside there. But it closes at, I think, 4:30, between 4:30 and 5, it's done. So they close until the following day.
Do they stay in the park overnight or do they move to, like, especially when it is super cold? Where do they go when it's freezing out there?
2 streets down there, there's a shelter.
A homeless shelter?
Shelter, yeah. There's a shelter. The only problem with that shelter, it has a cut-off number. So they have to be on the line. And where the number, for instance, number 35 will reach, everybody else has to sleep outside.
Oh my gosh.
So they rush there to be on the line so that you don't get cut off at the 35. Because the shelter can only hold a certain number of people. But during the cold season, really the freezing ones, the city has a way to organize different shelters to accommodate them. But other than that, summertime, they don't care. They sleep literally under the tree at the park. That one I can tell you that.
Okay, all right. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So what can people do to support you guys? What can our viewers, especially Kenyans here in America, do?
Oh, we need a lot of support and a lot of TLC. So this one, we occasionally call for fundraisers. We would encourage the community when we call for fundraiser, please support us, send your donations. I'll give the number at the end of the program. And then we have, we organize activities. Like now we were planning to do park cleaning. Where they stay, they really litter that area terribly. So we make a day where we go to park cleaning. We clean up the park, we pick all the trash, we put it together, ready for the city trucks to come and pick it up. We also do clothes and donations. Depending on what season we are in, like now we are getting off winter. We had a lot of support from the community. They sent us a lot of jackets, clothes, gloves, hats, and everything. So that is what we are asking for. If you hear we have a clothes drive, and you know it is winter, get us some jackets, get us some socks, shoes. You find them, some people, they're wearing summer clothes, shoes. It's winter outside, their feet are white because they're completely cold and frozen. So when they see you bringing shoes, they are very happy, jackets, and that kind of a thing. We also been asking if we can we have so many people in this community who are learned. We have our own nurse practitioners, we have our own nurses, we have our own social workers. Create some time and go and talk to these people. We are a professional area. If you're in mental health, you'll be able to talk to them better than me. You'll have a better approach better than me. If you can spend maybe an hour or so in a week, sit down with one person and tell them, I'm here to help you. What exactly do you need and what can I do for you? That way, we really appreciate when they do that. And that is why me and Bishop and the other board members we were talking about, and we were thinking, what if we opened a day program where these people can have a place to hang out during the day, where they can have different activities like pool tables, table tennis, and that kind of a thing, showers, groom them up. That way we can also have time for now professional people coming in to talk to them. These people could be put somewhere where they could be busy during the day, and then during the night, they go to the shelter. In the long run, that person will look at themselves in the mirror and say, I can be somebody. He has taken a shower. Like he has changed clothes. There's a barber who is always calling me. He want to volunteer to have their haircut. Tell me what reason wouldn't that person look at himself in the mirror and say, you mean I'm so handsome? And that might make him change his mind and think, Florence, I need help. I want to go to the rehab. I want to change my life. And that is exactly what besides the transitional home, we're also looking to open, if possible, a day program where they can hang out during the day other than being in the street. Which that's I think a good idea. It would be a very good idea if it works.
I agree with you.
Our fingers closed when we get the funding. That's the way we think we want to go.
Okay. All right. And you're all registered and everything. So you guys, they are a registered non-profit organization.
Yeah, we are
your donations, whatever you give. I think there is also a tax exempt when you support a non-profit organization. I think there is a certain cut. So you guys will be able to issue them with all of that stuff that is needed for tax purposes.
Oh, yes. Tax credit.
Yeah.
Tax credit. That's what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah. We can give them at the end of the year a letter, or immediately they donate, we can write a letter for them for tax credits. Come end of the year, they can give it to the government and they get a refund. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That is good. I think you guys are doing a lot. I am so glad some of the things that you have shared, that when you do something, think twice and how it's going to affect your fellow human being. How do people get in touch with you? How can they find you? How do you do your campaign? You reach out or campaign to reach out to people to know that you exist? Do you have a Facebook page, phone number? How do they connect with you?
First and foremost, we are working really, really hard to upgrade our website. We have a website. Okay. We have a Facebook account. We have now our WhatsApp group, which will be upgrading soon. When I say upgrading, we are creating a WhatsApp group whereby to become a member, you'll be required to register as a serious supportive member. So you'll be required to register. That one, we are working on it. We also have our website, and for the donations, we have our Zelle and our Cash App account. Okay. And we also have a phone number. Okay. We have an office which Bishop Mans in Chelmsford Street in Lower, which I can also give the address.
Okay.
If they are required. I have all that information here in front of me.
No, do me a favor, because it's a lot. You have a Facebook, you have a Zelle, you have Cash App, you have what else?
Website.
After this, you're gonna send me all those links, all that information. I'm going to add them. I'm gonna put your Cash App numbers in the description box so that when people click, if it's your website, they can go there. If it's your what is it called? Facebook, they can go there. And more important, be able to support you guys. And you also you put information when you have a clothing drive, especially for people.
Like now we have one going on.
Okay.
I'll share with you later. We are doing what they call Memorial Day Special.
Okay.
We shall be giving them a big lunch. This particular lunch is not going to be my usual package of paper bag and what. It's going to be like cooked food. Okay. It's going to be supported by Quito K. Kenya women.
Quito.
K.
Okay.
When it comes to pronouncing, I almost pronounce both of them the same. So they are doing what they call the Memorial Day Special. They are looking for donations of clothes, anything like mouthwash, clothes, toothpaste, hygiene packs, and anything anybody can donate. Then on that particular day, we shall be at the park, sharing lunch with them, giving them clothes for winter time. Summertime is here with us. They also need to dress different and that kind of a thing. So that is going on right now. The donation drive is going on. It's in our website, and I'll post it in our Facebook too.
Awesome. So all that information, you guys, is going to be pinned. It's going to be listed at the bottom of the video and also again in the description box. Bishop, before we wind up, do you have anything you want to add, something you would like to share that maybe you did not share about this organization, or just talking to the community in general?
I feel we've almost shared all. But I heard you asking about clothing activities. When we have clothing activities, when we send these links to you, you'll see in the website.
Okay.
All these pictures are there.
Okay, awesome. All right, that's good. That's good. Florence, do you have anything else you want to add in closing?
Yeah, I just want the public to know that HRP is committed to a strong advocacy for everyone. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. So when we say community, we mean everybody. It doesn't mean just my brothers and sisters from Kenya. No,
yes.
Lebanese, Kenyans, Spanish, everybody. The people from here. When we go to the park, we don't choose who we are taking care of. They also know us. Actually, they are more friendly to us. They are the ones waiting for us. I like the way the Spanish people are the ones who know me by all my names. They know my phone number. So I love that when all of them, there's no separation. We are all one when we get there. Okay. And also gender, we don't care. Men, women, we are all one.
Okay.
And it's usually a beautiful thing when you see them so happy when sharing that meal. And the thank yous they give you, only God can bless somebody. I'm telling you, they are very happy. Awesome. You want me to do the closing remarks?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I can't forget that because there are so many people who have been very supportive. Okay. And I'll start with you, Liz. The thought of even calling us and wanting us to talk to us, that already made me feel so emotional because I said, so people see, people know us. We didn't think we are known anywhere. Now I know Liz knows us. We have a lot of support from the entire state, from Boston, anywhere. Quincy, they come from all corners of the state to support us, to send us money, to buy lunch for these people. We cannot forget that. And still, we cannot forget the Catholic community.
Yeah.
If I've ever been touched, ever since I started this in 2019, it is this year. The Catholic community has been supporting me through the whole of the beginning of this year. All the time they keep calling me and they want to know, do you have a sponsor or not? Wow. So if I say I don't have a sponsor, they just create a group and they will send me the money to go and buy food. I cannot forget that. And of course, our other denominations, they are also supporting us very much. We have our St. Stephen's Church. They have a big ministry called Tabitha Ministry. They have never let us down. They have never left us. They are always there calling me to find out if I need anything. May God bless them and may they continue supporting us. We really, really, really appreciate. I cannot forget that.
Yes, I wanted to remind you also, Drake at Church, the Christ. I don't know how you call it.
Yeah, oh God. It's called Christ United Church.
That has stood with us very well.
I just wanted to know there is one bank in Boston. They love us so much. It's called Charles Bank. Okay. They always make sure they send us something. We cannot forget to thank them.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys, there you have it. You had the type of work that Bishop Florence and the organization are doing is absolutely commendable. They have their own families, they have their own jobs, but they have decided to support people who are going through a hard time. So if you're not local to them, where you can go on the ground and be with them, support them. However you can, your money is accountable. This is not somebody coming here to ask you to send money so they can pocket the money. They have a legit organization registered here in America. And as they said, they will give you the documentation you require to file your taxes to show that I sent XYZ amount to this organization. So let's stand with them. Let's support them. Whatever God can help you to be able to do, to be a supportive member of the community. So thank you so much to the two of you for gracing my show tonight. I am so happy you have shared. I wanted from day one when I heard about what you guys are doing out there, I wanted to bring you to talk about the services that you are giving to these people out there that are so much needed. So many of us walk by these people and not even think about how can I help, but you guys came up with an idea, hey, we can form an organization where we can do whatever you can. You may not be able to help everybody homeless in America, but you're making a difference, whether you help 1, 2, 10, or 20 people. That is all that matters. So thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful evening.
You too, Liz. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye.